Revolution's apparent vigor. He did, of course, invade Iraq, and Cuba was one of the 2 votes against it at the UN Security Council. As one reporter put it in December 1991, the prospects of normalizing relations between the U.S. and Cuba were, quote, unlikely to change soon, especially not before next November's presidential elections. The collapse of the Soviet Union that same year, however, was nothing short of a catastrophe for Cuba. Before the revolution, we remember, Cuba's economy, and therefore its government, was the plaything of its neighbor to the north. And in the time between the 1960s and the Soviet collapse, Cuba had made enormous strides in healthcare, education, social security, addressing poverty and hunger. And in the Zapata swamp, where the Americans had invaded in 1961, Cuba had developed the land into what the World Wildlife Fund now recognizes as an ecological rarity, quote, the best preserved swampland in the Antilles. But Cuba was still a small, politically isolated country in the Caribbean. With the Soviets gone, Cuban exports and imports fell around 80%. Oil and other essential raw materials for a modern society to function became scarce. The average Cuban's calorie intake plummeted. The country had entered what is now known as the Special Period. And it was in this period that socialist Cuba actually was forced to open up some of its economy to the private sector. Unfortunately, of course, it had the effect of reversing a lot of gains they had made over the several decades since the revolution, and resulted in increased social, racial, and economic inequality. During this period, the United States refused to change anything about its policy toward Cuba, the embargo, political isolation, etc. The hope was that such hard times would inevitably bring the Castro government to its knees.
Okay. Let's talk about this level, right? This is I like this level a lot. I really like this level. The Deco's incredible. The gameplay is pretty fun. The pre-drop is kind of annoying, but it's not that bad, right? But it's a very fun level. I think everything past the pre-drop, like that wave onwards, is incredible. This is a very, very good level to play. I have a bunch of old attempts in here, so this is not accurate. I think it's saved. I'm going to do that as my old attempts, even though I'm not 100% sure that it's right. But I'm 90% sure that that is correct for old attempts. So that's what we're going to use. We have 587.5 and then minus 4986. So 889 attempts from 0. And then on here I have plus 1045. So that's 1090. Goddamn, what is it called? 1934 attempts, which I think is the lowest I've spent on an extreme so far. It's pretty good. I got pretty unlucky too. Towards the end I was dying to the end a bunch. But this is a great this is a great level. I think my internet's out right now, so but I like this level. It's really, really fun. The Deco is fucking incredible. Just a great level that I highly recommend playing, beating if you are good enough to.